Today we're going to be talking about a 5-letter word that all of us deal with on some level. Now this 5-letter word is not a cuss word, so before you go and cut off this video blog, just stick with me for a few more moments. This 5-letter word is spelled P-R-I-D-E, pride, y'all. And pride is a big problem for all of us, especially me now that I'm a pastor and people walk around saying, hey, Pastor Devin, hey, Pastor, hey, Pastor. People put a lot of expectations on you because you got pastor on your name now. But the reality is that even before I was a pastor, before I was even really walking hard for God, I struggled with thinking too highly of myself. And that's what pride is, y'all. Pride is when we have an exaggerated view of ourselves, where we put ourselves way up high and we put other people down below. Now, God has a big problem with pride, y'all, and it's found in Psalm chapter 10, verse 4. In Psalm 10:4, it says, in his pride, the wicked does not seek him. In all his thoughts, there's no room for God. Now, think about this, y'all. In all the brain cells you have and all the synapses and the brain stem and all the different parts of your brain that God has given you, if you're walking in pride, then you're saying there's no room for God. That means you're so full of yourself that God has no capacity inside of your thought life. And that's a big problem. Here's why. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 12 expounds a little further. Before his downfall, a man's heart is proud, but humility comes before honor. Let's break this down right here. That word downfall in the original language that the Bible was written in means the destruction of a man. So in other words, if I were to knock over a little bottle, well, that bottle wouldn't have too much damage to it because the distance from the ground to how high the top of the bottle isn't that great. But if a skyscraper were to knock over, it would cause what? More destruction. Why? Because it's higher up, and the higher up you are in your pride, the greater the downfall and destruction when reality smacks you and has to meet you and say, yo, you need God. So, why does God allow trouble in our lives? Oftentimes, trouble is a testing of our faith to see if we're going to persevere. But if you're dependent on yourself and your pride and not God, well, God will let reality meet you where you are. So this week, here's your takeaway. Here's how you can avoid pride. Matthew chapter 23, verse 11 through 12 says, the greatest among you must be a servant, but those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. If you want to get somewhere in life, you want to be the person God has created you to be, you want to go further, faster, serve people humbly. This week, go out of your way to do something for somebody without you taking the credit for it. I mean, you could help your sibling with their homework and not tell your mom. You could wash the dishes, if you're living with your parents, clean up your room, cut the grass, do something that would help somebody without you getting credit for it. If you're at Chick-fil-A or at a fast food spot, maybe you want to pay for somebody's meal behind you in the drive-thru. Whatever it is, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but serve somebody without you getting the credit. And watch how God uses you, and watch how God allows you to be exalted because you've humbled yourself. I'll see you next time.